Let's get educated. That's why we're here, to bring you the stories impacting K-12 classrooms and college campuses. It's time for a little education.
Well, hello and welcome one and all. I am Katie Petrick, and I am joined by the David Fiorazo, looking all posh and snazzy in his
my
lovely
high-tech jacket again.
jacket.
Yeah.
You two look very nice. Doesn't he look nice? Everyone give him a thumbs up if you think he looks nice.
Happy New Year to you too, Katie.
Bye, thank you. Yes. David, so this morning, you had a guest.
Yes, worldviewmatters.tv.
Of Worldview Matters. Who was said guest?
Davidson. Chad Davidson of Good Fight Ministries, goodfight.org. And we talked a little bit about idolatry, entertainment, demonic Super Bowl halftime shows. We talked a little bit about Taylor Swift. Chad is up on all this, man. He's really amazing. He's probably in his early 30s, mid 30s. Just an amazing young man. And he's with Good Fight Ministries. So
okay, a couple things there. One, he's hip happening. Two, early 30s as a young man.
Yes.
All right then.
Well, you're a young woman. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm not early 30s.
You're still young.
A little late, but that's okay.
Well,
anyway, moving on. Let's talk about some actual young ladies where we have a Jewish high school girls basketball team.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
They are forced to stop their game after the players on the opposing team started just, instead of taking shots and winning, they were taking shots, basically hurling anti-Semitic comments at them. David, I thought you were supposed to just shoot the basketball, not verbally assault the other team.
Sports, right?
Yeah.
Let's just play the game. Yes, but this is a private Jewish high school girls basketball team, and they had to be escorted off the court before their game ended due to anti-Semitic harassment from opposing players. This stuff, I understand at the college level. I understand at the university level what's happening on our universities. There's seed beds for hate and an anti-biblical worldview and Jew hate and anything against conservatism, Christianity. But at the high school level, it's disappointing, not surprising, because we're talking about the K through 12, and they have erased the Holocaust from some history books. But let's watch this video, and we'll come back. We'll talk more about it.
This video of the matchup between the LaFell School and Roosevelt High School in Yonkers may look like any other basketball game, but it had to be canceled when at least one player on the home team allegedly hurled anti-Semitic slurs against her Jewish opponents, which the interim school's chancellor confirmed to Pix 11 News were escorted off the court by security guards due to safety concerns. Yonkers Mayor Mike Spano says the accused student and the Roosevelt coach were both kicked off the team following Thursday's incident.
This wasn't trash talk. This was anti-Semitism. This is unacceptable, and we're not going to tolerate it.
That's right.
Okay, so Roosevelt High School players reportedly yelled things like "Free Palestine" and "I support Hamas, you effing Jew."
Yeah, that kid.
Tolerant.
Yeah, this is high school level.
Yeah.
Even more, okay, I know that our university college students have no understanding of anything, but even more so at the high school level.
Yeah.
Do they even, if you put a map out there right now, could they pinpoint where Israel is?
I think we know the answer to that.
Correct.
No.
What is Hamas for 100 points, Alex?
No.
They don't know. They are just repeating the lines that they're hearing on the TikToks. Because at the high school level, it's going to be at the TikToks.
Right, and another one of those questions, what is the ideology behind the Holocaust? And
what's the Holocaust?
Hitler, you know what I mean? I mean, because the man on the street interviews they do, and they go into these, college campuses, high school kids after they graduate, they're clueless on a lot of world history.
Do you want to know just a little side note that I watched last night?
What?
It was a guy asking two 20-something-year-old girls, what country is Canada in? They started arguing. One's like, Europe. It's in the country of Europe. No, it's not. They speak French. It's in France. It's in France. The country of what country is Canada in is France. Europe. No. And the guy's like,
oh boy. I mean, I'll date myself here. I remember going and watching Jay Leno when he was the host of The Tonight Show, he would go do these interviews with a lot of times, high school graduates or college graduates. And it was decades ago astounding at that time.
Well, jaywalking used to be fun. And it was funny.
Yeah, well, it's
now
funny
it's
because
just
you're
sad.
laughing at their idiocy, their ignorance, and their lack of education. And unfortunately, that's what Americans would rather be entertained by it and laugh than to do something about the failing high schools and universities. But I want to get back to this article. One of the players, Robin Bosworth, wrote in her school student paper that she and her teammates, the Jewish team, they started to get injured from the other team's physical style of play. Here's what she said, quote, "I have played a sport every athletic season throughout my high school career, and I have never experienced this kind of hatred directed at one of my teammates before."
Well, and nor should she have ever experienced anything like that. No. I mean, there is I played basketball, the rivalry, the elbowing, getting fierce, getting maybe a little amped up about something, but nothing about because you're from a Jewish school, because you're Jewish. That had nothing to do with anything. It was always just because you're the local, town over, and we have to have a rivalry because that's how we do things. The fact that this has been literally bleeding down into our K-12 school system is a clear sign of how sick we are as a country at this point, and how we every day lose a little bit of what this country was actually founded upon. Sad but true.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. So yes, sadly, this is where we are, and we will see more stories like this. And again, we'll see more stories about the failures of DEI. They're certainly not standing in the gap for the Jews. Because they're maybe a minority, but no, they don't matter. So anyway, we'll just end it on that note. It's sad that this happened. Keep your eye out for more of these, as we reported another day. I don't remember what day now on this show. The increase of anti-Semitism across the country, and of course worldwide since October 7 last year. But let's move on here. Rice University, a prestigious academic institution, is currently offering a course on, you ready? Afrochemistry, that seeks to address inequities in chemistry. So now science is racist. Some of you may have already heard that. We're talking about that next.
The two basketball teams in the previous story clearly showed they did not have a lot of chemistry. But neither will the students at Rice University, because they're offering a course. Of course, called Afrochemistry, because they need to address inequities that are in chemistry.
In chemistry.
So they need Afrochemistry.
Okay.
Yep. I will try to hold it together, but this is absolutely asinine. So, Rice University, Afrochemistry.
This is a university.
They are addressing, it says, the inequities in chemistry and chemical education. It's an online course. Their schedule and catalog shows that there's no final exam for this course. Chemistry 125.
Of course.
The class goes from January 8th, so it just started not that long ago, and it's done by April 19th because...
That's my birthday.
Oh, congrats. Happy birthday. You don't have a final on that day if you're taking this course.
Oh,
you're
great.
probably just going to...
They'll pass me.
Yeah, they'll... Will they, though?
With an A-.
Maybe that's it. All right, according to the course description, students will apply chemical tools and analysis to understand Black life in the United States, and students will implement African American sensibilities to analyze chemistry. Diverse historical and contemporary scientists, intellectuals, and chemical discoveries will inform personal reflections and proposals for addressing inequities in chemistry and chemical education.
Chemical education, ladies and gentlemen.
This course will be accessible to students from a variety of backgrounds, including STEM and non-STEM disciplines. Pretty much all you non-STEM disciplines are the ones who are going to take this to avoid having to take actual chemistry. But no prior knowledge of chemistry or African American studies is required for engagement in this
So that
course.
means if you're not African American, you can still take the course because you don't need prior knowledge.
Yes. And I mean, there's no final, and it's a shortened semester. So
Okay.
I'm guessing this is going to be a very popular course.
And
What will they learn? I don't
no
know.
prior knowledge of chemistry is also recommended. It's even more helpful.
It's probably helpful to
if you
not know
if
chemistry.
you don't know anything about chemistry.
If
before
you know,
take
if you've
this.
heard of the periodic table, just run away because they don't want you.
Oh gosh.
What's the formula for salt and pepper? A little bit more pepper, a little less salt. All right. Well, Jerry Coyne, who's a professor emeritus at Chicago University and a biologist, so one of those science people.
Yeah.
Maybe not the Afro biology. We don't have that course yet. Maybe Jerry
it's
Coyne.
coming.
Jerry Coyne should. He won't teach
Yeah,
it.
it's
But
coming.
he wrote on his blog that the poster that advertised the course noted that the course was the study of Black Lives Matter. And he complained that such courses only polluted science through its replacement of hard science with progressive activism. Yeah, Jerry, you are correct. Stop being an emeritus of biology and go just be a chemistry teacher at Rice because it doesn't take much. You're in the sciences. That works. Come out of retirement. Come on, Jerry. You can do it. I believe in you. I don't believe in what they're doing at Rice University with Afrochemistry.
Most universities. Now, I'm not saying most universities have that course, but we've talked about some of the idiotic college courses available that they're coming up with now on LGBTQ studies and social justice, all these other, the climate, right? So just another caution before you spend however much money you're thinking college university will cost. Just really weigh that decision heavily based on what your son or daughter might learn or be subjected to when they go to said university.
This really does tie into the, well, my kid likes science and science is good. It's facts. So
Science.
I know if I send my kid to college in those humanities classes, that English, it's always English, which it is always English, English or even like history or government, any of those classes. They can start talking about their opinions, but in the sciences, yeah.
Hey,
Nope, not anymore. Biology, we can't tell two genders. Like we can't tell. Biology is one of the worst.
even the Supreme Court can't.
This is true, but hey, that's government
She's not a
stuff.
biologist. Hey, by the way, that speaking of science in air quotes,
Yes.
is that your Anthony Fauci pillow in the green room?
That is not mine.
Not whose is that?
Jake Jacobs.
Oh, there is an Anthony.
We're actually, he's a
Science.
scientist who just admitted that he
I
just
just had-
6 foot rule. Who cares? It's just we made up a number.
I had to slide that in there.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Afrochemistry is all about racism, so we can't have chemistry anymore. That science is not. Physics? Can they have physics? No, we can't have physics.
I don't think so.
That's racist as
Yeah.
well. Astronomy? Astrology? We'll go with
stars?
astrology.
The stars.
What? And then all sciences have been tainted. All of them.
Yep.
There's nothing left for you, child. Do not go to college. That's all we're trying to tell you around here. But we're going to move on because here's another shocker for you. California is actually doing something good for their students.
What?
But will young teachers be able to teach something that they never learned themselves? This is a great question. Stay with us and we will tell you.
Today's show is sponsored by our friends at MyPillow. Save up to 66% on pristine quality bedding, towels, slippers, signature pillows, and much more when you use the code EDUCATED. That's EDUCATED. Educated. Support this show and a great American company.
A boomerang. Boomerang, my word of the week. We're having a boomerang effect going on. And this time it's because of cursive writing. We're having a you remember, you boomers, with a boomerang? Y'all learned how to write in cursive. I learned
I
even
still
as a
remember
millennial
how to do that.
How to write in cursive.
Really?
But I know. I'm one of those old
Impressive.
millennials. Young millennials have no clue. But it's time. Bring it on back. We have, in California, no less, Governor Gavin Newsom this fall actually had this past fall, I should say, signed a bill, AB 446, which was by Assemblywoman Sharon Quirk Silva, who's a Fullerton Democrat, but also a former school teacher. Haha, that's why. Requiring that cursive instruction in elementary grades start this year, like now.
Huh.
What? I thought that's so passé. We don't need cursive writing anymore. We got computers. Kids can just, put an X for their signature at this point. I was told that's what kids were going to do. Oh, it doesn't matter. They don't need to do cursive writing, so we stopped teaching it. And then what happened?
What happened?
Bad things. So now we're bringing it back.
Once the so-called scholastic 3 R's included the now defunct art of writing in cursive, the flowing connected loops of letters that for centuries have brought class and an enhanced distinctive style to penmanship.
I remember when we were doing it in elementary school, it took a lot of practice of learning how to do like just the A's and the lowercase letters and the capital letters of it. And it was like, I remember doing it in elementary school and it was like a lot.
The early part of the century produced an inflection point in how people communicate. Texting and email supplanted the pen, and cursive started a slow fade from memory.
I realized over the last decade that about half the students were learning it and half weren't.
Educator turned 67th District Assemblywoman Sharon Quirk-Silva decided it was time to make the past prologue. She authored, and California Governor Gavin Newsom recently signed, AB 446. The bill, which is now a new law, mandates that certain courses of study, like English, and certain skills, such as handwriting, in cursive, be taught between the 1st and 6th grades. The Assemblywoman says learning such skills can have lasting benefits.
Many of our historical documents, but also our family history, is in cursive, and the goal would be that they could read and write it, hopefully by the time they're entering junior high.
The new law, which takes effect in the new year, will mean adding another item to teachers' lesson plan.
Who knows, maybe some of the teachers now don't even know how to.
Could be a learning for both.
It could be learning for both because a lot of our young teachers are pretty young now. They're like in their early 20s and...
We laugh, but it's the truth.
Yes.
This is a scenario of, but when did cursive writing even leave? Well, if you are 35 or older, you probably got some cursive writing. But if you're younger than that, you may not have, because, when did cursive writing begin to fade? Probably after California and 40 other states adopted the 2010 Common Core state standards for English and math. Oh, yes, Common Core.
Common Core.
2 words that drive me to want to drink.
Oh, but that's gone. I'm kidding. It's just
not.
named something else.
We just keep renaming it because are your kids still doing silly math that's not math? If your kids are still doing non-math math, you still have Common Core.
That's Common Core.
That's Common
just
Core.
Just called something else.
If your kids are not reading full books, they're just reading paragraphs of books, maybe even from books, maybe it's just from short stories, you're still doing Common Core English. If your kids are not writing in cursive, if they're not writing at all, they're still doing Common Core. Just a little FYI, mom and dad. That's what's happening. So the California, 40 other states adopted Common Core, bye-bye cursive, and now we have students who cannot write legibly printed handwriting. Cannot do that even. And they can't read anything cursive, which means they can't read anything that's older than 20 years ago. Because, like, grandma had a cookie recipe. They can't read it.
What about our founding fathers' letters?
Who cares
private
about
letters,
those
like
old
Thomas
dead white
Jefferson's
men?
letter to the Danbury Baptists.
We don't care about that.
They can't read those. That's interesting.
They can't read any of that. And so that's always been the argument is if you take that out, then you can't read the founding documents. Oh, well, we have it online. You could read it on the internet, David. Exactly. But guess what we're learning is there have been studies done that the act of cursive writing actually connects what you're writing into your brain. Ooh. So it's almost as if you're taking notes, maybe in a lecture, and what you write down by writing that out so beautifully.
It helps your memory.
And you understand what you're actually putting down.
Katie's got a good point.
But who does that? Hopefully, I'm going to say California has a hope, but it's still California.
Interesting that this story is in California.
Of all places. Well, it takes Takes a school teacher, a good old, the fact that she said she's like they said 67-year-old or whatever, you're not going to get this coming out of a 28-year-old school teacher who's like, you know what? I think we should take some time, students, to do some cursive writing because they never learned it themselves. It has to come from the older generation. Let's go, boomers.
Yeah, makes
Help
sense.
us out before.
Go boomers.
Go boomers. Boomerang. Let's do this. All right. Well, anyway, let's stay with California for a hot second and talk about a ski resort.
Uh-oh.
And their plans to erect a 20-foot statue and how it has some locals up in arms. We're going to tell you what makes the statue so controversial with non-believers. Next.
If you have a smartphone, tablet, Roku, or Apple TV, consider downloading the Freedom Project Media app. It's 100% free and includes all of our weekly shows, plus lecture series, archive programs, and award-winning animated videos for families like the Presidential Minute, Battles of America, and Heroes of the West. Don't rely on the social media giants to keep you informed. Simply download the Freedom Project Media app from your app store and allow notifications. And we'll let you know when a new video is ready.
Okay, so a California ski resort, due to the owner's probably religion, is planning to put up a 20-foot statue of the Virgin Mary. And some locals do not like that. They do not like that much at all. Keep religion out of skiing. Jeez.
Yup.
Keep religion out of every sport. So Mount Shasta Ski Park in McLeod will build the platform atop its Douglas Butte, I believe, this season and construct the Virgin Mary by summertime, the resort announced on Facebook. The statue was, quote, very important to owner Robin Merlot and her late husband, Ray. And quote, the statue is a promise fulfilled and a true representation of the dedication to family that we all value so much here at the ski park. I'm going to say, what does the Virgin Mary have to do with family? But I know that's family values I hope she's alluding to. So what do you think, friends? Is this an infringement on the religious freedoms of atheists? Or what do you think, Katie?
It's their own private business. They can do that.
It is a business. It's a ski resort.
We basically got kicked off of YouTube because they are a private business.
Good point.
So that's just a quick reminder, a little side note to watch us on Rumble, Facebook if we're still on, or to download the Freedom Project Media app.
Can we briefly explain
Just
that?
saying.
I know we're kind of taking off of the story a little bit, but what were the words that YouTube was warning that we were danger to the community?
Something about danger to the community by telling you the truth of what's happening.
Yeah, protecting
out there.
Minors from transgender surgeries and all these other things that we believe are important to talk about. Oh yeah, you can't talk about those on the one party.
Well, we're not on the YouTube anymore, so take that.
Yeah, one party big tech media conglomerate. So anyway, back to the story. So there's a petition which has, at least at the time of this came out, probably more now, 1,700 signatures aiming to, what's that? Like I said, 2,500. Where is it, 2,700?
Yes.
Okay, I looked up. I'm reading the article now. I had to look at the update. So signatures are increasing to stop the statue's construction.
Yeah, well, any of these petitions, I take them with, I'll say, since it's a ski resort, a flake of snow.
A grain of salt, a flake of snow.
A flake of snow, because the only people who sign all these petitions are there like, I'm fighting, I'm petitioning for anything, I'm going on the internet as I live across the country. Yeah, I'll sign this petition. And these are just keyboard warriors out there. They're not actual people who live anywhere near McLeod, California, where I don't even know where that is because I'm not from California. Do you know where that is, McLeod?
No, I don't.
Well, California?
Yeah.
Living?
Well, Mount Shasta, it's got to be up north a little bit.
I would assume it's a little up north, but...
North, east in California.
We'll go there.
Yeah, so they're urging the park to honor the Native Americans who once called the mountain home, because, of course, Native Americans probably don't believe in the biblical worldview or the Virgin Mary. But it's interesting. It's just a statue. Why is that such a threat? That's always my question.
Statues are scary, David.
When I like to ask my fellow
scary.
Americans who happen to be leftists and Democrats, would you consider yourself to be a tolerant person? Well, then why are you so threatened by, this thing that's not even living? It's just made out of what? Stone, whatever they're going to create this statue out of.
And she's holding a baby.
Uh-oh.
So offensive.
Now you're getting
I wonder
a
who
little
that
close
baby is.
to the Christmas account in the Bible.
I'm just saying.
If Mary's holding a baby, probably there it is.
I'm
They're
just
offended
saying,
about Jesus.
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. So, so that's just another story
So
to keep
you
an
let
eye
us
out.
know your thoughts on it.
Let's see if they. It's supposed to be done by summer. Let's keep an eye out on this story.
We will be going skiing. If anyone would like to see
No.
David and Katie's trip down the hill.
No, I'll watch from the cozy indoors by a fireplace
With your slippers.
with some gingerbread, strong gingerbread coffee. I was going to say hot chocolate, but I'm not a big hot chocolate fan. But I'll watch you ski and see if you can get down the hill without injuring yourself.
Is there a bunny hill? It's been a hot second since I've skied. But all right, you let me know if you've been skiing lately. And also, if you're a fan of our show, if you would like, comment, subscribe, share. That'd be very nice of you since we're kicked off of YouTube. Also, since we are kicked off of YouTube, if you want to go over to Rumble, you can follow us over there because that's where they actually let us show.
Yes. Kudos,
the
Rumble.
Craziness that is happening around the country. So it's rumble.com/Freedom Project. Now, for David and myself, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting this show. David gives it 2 thumbs up. I'm a 1.5 thumbs. We'll see what happens. All right, until next time, stay educated.